Hey, I'm Mariah.
And I'm Emily.
And this is a special edition of the State Fair of MHS Voice.
Inaugurated in 1854, the State Fair of Virginia is held annually at the end of September at the Meadow Event Park in Caroline County. The fair offers concerts, carnival games, fair rides, and your typical fair foods, such as cotton candy and funnel cakes. You will also get all of your Virginia favorites, such as peanuts, chicken, and barbecue. Here at the State Fair, there's entertainment and attractions around every corner that will entrance every age group. You can also experience agricultural, historical, and livestock exhibits and competitions. Have you ever seen dogs fly? At the State Fair, they have a special event called Canines in Flight. We sent Connor to check it out.
High flying, high throwing, and frisbee catching are just some of the acts you'll see at the Canines in Flight attraction at the Virginia State Fair.
Show you 3 high-flying, high-jump dogs.
John Masita adopts rescue dogs and puts them through a rigorous training process.
I got to figure out a way somehow of showing that all these dogs that are on the street in the shelter can be as good or better than any dog you buy at a store or from a breeder.
After the adoption process, Masita evaluates the dogs to find their athletic ability.
I determine kind of which they like to do best, and some like the water, some like the high jump, some like the frisbee, so it really depends.
Though Masita starts training early on, he is in no rush to perfect the dogs. He ensures that each dog is trained properly to be ready to perform when needed.
We test to make sure that they have that athletic ability so they can do something like this. And most of the ones that are in shelters and run away have too much energy to begin with, so this is a great way to distribute that energy.
With over 15 years of professional experience, the dogs have impressed audiences across America. Reporting live from the Canines in Flight at the State Fair, this is Connor.
At the Firefighter Training Show, the audience members get the unique opportunity to look into the firefighters' lives and come away with fire safety training. Here's Quinn with the story.
Here at the Virginia State Fair, volunteer firefighter Neil Snyder runs the Firefighter Training Show, which teaches kids fire safety.
A lot of the open houses at fire stations now, they're for insurance reasons, they're not able to let kids do any of the fun things they used to do, like squirting fire extinguishers, rolling up hoses, kind of things that we do in the show here.
The recent restrictions on kids' participation in open house fire stations inspired Snyder to found the show.
Because when we did the open houses for fire station, really what the kids wanted to do was become the firefighters in the show. So we came up with a show that would allow the kids, we pick the kids out of the audience, they are actually the firefighters, they put on the demonstration for us out here. Keeps them interested, and while they're interested, of course, we can get the safety messages across to them that we want to get across.
The core lesson the show aims to teach is that in case of a fire, don't hide, get outside.
Every one of these shows is an awesome experience. All these kids, their parents come up at the end, they thank you for working with their kids out here and being patient with them, teaching them don't hide, get outside. The biggest reason kids perish in fires is they get scared, they run and hide. Don't run into your bedroom, don't run into the bathroom. Your favorite hiding place, you need to get outside. All the families need to have a meeting place outside so they all know where to go and what to do in case of a fire.
To Snyder, the work he does with the show is a service to the public that will save lives in the future.
The encouraging part of the show is that someday it will save somebody's life. I'm sure it will. We've been doing it for years now, and thousands of kids have come through, so hopefully the message will get out there and kids will know what to do when it's time.
This is Quinn with MHS Voice reporting from the Firefighter Training Show at the Virginia State Fair.
A family-owned business called Deer Horn's Homemade Ice Cream has been going to the State Fair for years. Here's Mackenzie with this sweet story.
Paul Horn has dedicated his life to making state fairs a little bit sweeter.
A business, it was just something I wanted to do, and expanded ended up with 3 machines. They're horse and a half John Deere hit and miss engines. They was built from 1920 to 1940. And these happen to be a 30, a 31, and a 32 model. And we make 5 gallons of ice cream at a time with them. And it's a secret family recipe, and I do all kinds of events throughout wherever.
Their process, which combines a 90-year-old secret family recipe and unique machinery, creates a flavor that is truly one of a kind.
The engine's making that ice cream. A lot of people don't understand how it does it, but those engines actually run off of gas, and they put the ice and salt around there and freeze it, 5 gallons of it at a time, and the end results is pretty good.
No matter where they go, Deer Horn's homemade ice cream is always a crowd favorite.
Mine's all homemade, and the rest of it's made in factories and put into it, and then the taste is totally different.
This ice cream is fresh. You can taste the real peaches. Sweet, but not too sweet. It's great.
Live from Deer Horns at the Virginia State Fair, this is Mackenzie reporting.
You've seen horses, dogs, and even turtle races, but the State Fair is the only place to see hogs battle it out for first place. Here's Sydney with the story.
For the last 27 years, Rosaire's Royal Racers have made their mark at state fairs across the country.
Just so happened my dad, who was friends with the owners, was nearby, and he called him and said, Wayne, can you make it out there to maybe take care of the animals for a couple days? And that kind of turned into, could you do a show for us? And that kind of turned into, wow, I really like this. And over the next few years, he worked for him, and then ended up getting away from him and building his own pig racing company, and that's what we've been doing the last 23 years.
Although pig races are fun, they require more work and dedication than most people think. Training can take up to a week or so before the pigs are ready to race.
So we'll break them down into the gate and get them used to being actually separated, and then that's the hardest part. It's like at the horse races, you're training them to come out of the starting gate. That's the most difficult part of training.
Considering pigs are always hungry, food seems to be the best reward.
They're racing for a cream-filled cookie. It's a bait and reward system, which means when we want the pigs to go somewhere, before they get there, we'll bait the area, and then when they get there, they pick up their bait, and that's their reward. In this case, it's a cream-filled cookie.
The Rosaire family takes care of all 19 swines that perform during the show. With pigs of all different shapes and sizes, the family makes sure that every pig has their time to shine.
We raced 3 different heats of pigs today. The first heat you saw were full-blooded Yorkshire. They're your everyday farm pig. The second heat you saw race were Hampshire Duroc Cross. Those guys were coming up on about 5 months old now. They're already quite a bit bigger and a lot faster. And then the third heat, the main event, were the pot-bellied racing pigs, and those guys, as you know, burned up the track.
Being on the road for 10 months out of the year allows Pamela and the family to interact with many different fans.
My favorite part about the pig races is probably the energy, you know, making people happy. That's what it's all about. That's why you come to the fair, is to have a good time. And what better way to do that than by going hog wild, you know. We like to have a lot of fun, really high energy. You know, we race 15 pigs, 14 or 15 on the show, and we give away free prizes. And just seeing the audience's face and their expression, that's what it's all about. We just like to have a lot of fun. Definitely my favorite part is coming out here and putting on a show and letting everybody have a really good time.
From the Rosaire Pig Races at the Virginia State Fair, this is Sydney reporting. Thanks for tuning in for the special edition of MHS Voice.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.